So hello friends and welcome back to Unit 4 for the OL, and it's called Into the Past. Today we are going just to discuss lessons 4, 5 and 6. Now please wait with me and let's move on. Here we have a passage and it's talking about the objects from Egypt's past, and most of them are still used nowadays. Now let's move on and read. Objects from the past can help us to understand what life was like many years ago. They can also show us that we use many of the same objects today. In ancient Egypt, many people used mirrors to help them paint around their eyes. This was not just to make them look good. The paint helped to protect their eyes from the sun and kept away insects. The mirrors were metal and had interesting designs. Where do you have mirrors in your home? The ancient Egyptians used pots and bowls for making food, such as bread. These objects were made of clay, which came from the river Nile. While some people were mixing ingredients for bread in bowls, other people used large stones to mix the ingredients in a bowl. So how do we make bread today? Ancient Egyptians liked playing games like Senet. Senet boxes have 30 squares. This box is made of wood and is about 3,500,000 years old. Some people didn't have Senet boxes, but they still played the game. They drew the squares on the floor. What games are popular in Egypt today? We must have some notes in this passage, and moving on from the first paragraph to the second paragraph, we can see keep away insects. It's in the fourth line. You can see keep or kept away insects. And we also have, yes, these objects were made of clay, which came from the river Nile. Now the word clay, it means a type of heavy, sticky earth that becomes hard when it's baked and is used to make things such as boots and bricks. Now let's move on to some important vocabulary in the passage. Number one, it's insect. Yes, insect. And it means any small creature with 6 legs and a body divided into 3 parts. Insects usually also have wings. Ants, bees, and flies are all insects. So I have here an example for it. The wood should be treated against insect attack. Now let's move on to pots. Yes, pots, and it means a deep round container used for cooking things in. Again, a deep round container used for cooking things in. And to go to the next one, it's called bowl. Yes, bowl. And it means a deep round dish with a wide open top, used especially for holding food or liquid. Again, a deep round dish with a wide open top, used especially for holding food or liquid. And to give you an example, I should say, I had a bowl of soup. Okay, I had a bowl of soup. And for pot, I should say, she made a pot of yogurt. Now let's move on to the next one, and it's called ingredients. Yes, ingredients. And it means things from which something is made, especially one of the foods that are used together to make a particular dish. Again, things from which something is made, especially one of the foods that are used together to make a particular dish. And for this I'm going to give you, I only use natural ingredients to cook. Now let's move on to Senet. And it's a game like chess, and it was played thousands of years ago in ancient Egypt. And it should be like this. Now let's move on. Some notes on the passage. We have some verbs, and the first verb here we have help. And help comes with three shapes. Help object 2 plus the base form of the verb. It's like I helped him to do his homework, or I helped him do his homework, or I helped him with his homework, or I helped him with doing his homework. Now let's move on to the next one, and it's called protect. Yes, protect. And protect, it's followed by the object and then from a noun or a verb plus ing or a gerund, and protect the object against ing or a gerund. We actually know protect object from. So what is protect object against? It's to help or to keep it against or to keep it away of rust. Like the paint helps protect against rust. That means it protected, it keep things away of rust. Now let's move on. And popular. Yes, when I'm telling you I am popular in Egypt, that means I'm so famous in Egypt. But popular with must be followed by a noun. It's like when I say the restaurant is popular with all who enjoy Mexican food. Again, the restaurant is popular with all who enjoy Mexican food. So all the people who enjoy Mexican food goes to this restaurant. Now let's move on. How to ask about information on the phone. I know that we have said this before, but here we will have just a quick revision on it. And we will just only read the points. How can I help you? I'd like to know what time the museum is open. Hello, can you tell me if the museum is open on Fridays? Certainly, or of course, it's open daily. Can I buy the tickets online? Sure, of course. Now let's move on and read the next passage. And it's about the circles or the stone circles at Saint Nigini in Senegal. So where are the stone circles? There are more than 1,000 stone circles of Senegambia, and they follow the river Gambia for 350 kilometers across two countries, Senegal and Gambia. Again, there are more than 1,000 stone circles of Senegambia. They follow the river Gambia for 350 kilometers across two countries, Senegal and Gambia. So why are the stone circles important? The stone circles are very important to the history of Senegal and Gambia. They tell us about the people who made them and how they lived. Again, the stone circles are very important to the history of Senegal and Gambia. They tell us about the people who made them and how they lived. Now, how old are the stone circles? The oldest stone circles are around 2,300 years old, and the youngest are around 500 years old. This means that people were building the circles for more than 1,800 years. So can the tourists visit them? Tourists can visit them, but they must not damage them. Money from tourism helps to pay for local people to look after the stones, and it's very important to protect the stones. Now it's time to extract some facts or some important vocabulary in this passage. Here in the second paragraph, the stone circles are very important to the history of Senegal and Gambia. So the first preposition here, it's important to. Okay, important to. And tell us about. Tell about. Now let's move on to the next passage and the next paragraph. The oldest stone circles are around 2,300 years old and the youngest are around 500 years old. That means the people were building the circles for more than 1,800 years. Herefore, it goes before the period. Now let's move on to the last paragraph. And this is the most important paragraph because we will need the words here to answer some exercises later. Tourists can visit them, but they mustn't damage them. So, it's the first word, damage. To cause damage to something. And money from tourism helps to pay for. Yes, pay for. Pay for is to give money for. And we have here local people. Local people, they are the people of the area of a city or a town. And we have look after. Look after means to keep the stones good. Thank you for watching this video and wait for the exercises. After we had finished talking about all the other things in this unit and the vocabulary and the past continuous tense, it's time to answer some exercises about what we had taken before. Number 1, choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D. Number 1, ancient Egyptians made pots and bowls of space from the Nile, metal, wool, clay, or water. So you have 3 seconds to answer this question. And yes, the answer is ancient Egyptians made pots and bowls of clay from the Nile. Number 2, ancient Egyptians used for writing papyrus, wood, wool, or paper. To give you the meaning of papyrus, it's paper made of the stems of the papyrus plant used in ancient Egypt for writing and drawing on. So the answer is clear now, and yes, ancient Egyptians used papyrus for writing. Now let's move on to number 3. A is a piece of metal used as money. Put, bowl, can, or coin. So it's easy. And yes, the answer is a coin is a piece of metal used as money. Now number 4. Some boys wore on their faces to frighten girls. Shorts, skirts, masks, shirts. So the answer is yes. Some boys wore masks on their faces to frighten girls. Now number 5. My grandmother gave me a beautiful space on my birthday which I can wear around my neck. Ring, watch, jumper, or necklace. So you have your 3 seconds. And yes, my grandmother gave me a beautiful necklace on my birthday which I can wear around my neck. Number 6. My mother wears 2 on her fingers. They are expensive. Rings, watches, scarves, necklaces. So on her fingers, and it will be yes, my mother wears 2 rings on her finger. They are expensive. Now number 7. Bees and ants are small animals, birds, insects, turtles. You will take your 3 seconds. And yes, bees and ants are small insects. Number 8. People wear sunglasses to space their eyes from the sun. Affect, protect, infect, or get. So yes, the answer is people wear sunglasses to protect their eyes from the sun. Now number 9, my father's mobile phone him a lot of money. It's very expensive. Cost, bought, paid, or sold. And yes, the answer is my father's mobile phone cost him a lot of money. It's very expensive. Now number 10. There is a of flowers on the table next to my bed. So bottle, vase, bag or glass. And you will have your 3 seconds. And yes, the answer is there is a vase of flowers on the table next to my bed. Now number 11. The shop is very crowded today. There are many space, waiters, sellers, customers or objects. So yes, the answer is the shop is very crowded today. There are many customers. Now number 12. We go to school every day, holidays, except, expect, or aspect. So the answer here, it's so easy and clear, and it is yes. We go to school every day except holidays. It will be C, except holidays. Now let's move on. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D. There was a in our class about how we help the environment. Debate, date, carpet, or lamp. So here we know that debate is a long conversation about a subject. And here, yes, it will be the answer here. There was a debate in our class about how we help the environment. Now number 2, space is important for Egypt because it brings a lot of money and jobs. As we saw in the passage, it will be yes. Tourism is important for Egypt because it brings a lot of money and jobs. Now number 3, we should protect our places because they are very important. And you will have your 3 seconds. Yes, we should protect our historic places because they are very important. Now number 4, some tourists are careless because they rubbish in historic places. Yes, we have throw rubbish, but in this sentence we don't have throw, and it will be yes, drop rubbish in historic places. Now let's go to number 5. Some projects in the area help people to find jobs easily, as we said in the passage, and it will be local people. Now number 6. Some people think that tourists scan important places, as we said before, to cause damage to something, and it will be yes, damage. Some people think that tourists can damage important places at the period of 100 years, month, week, decade, or century. And yes, the answer is going to be a century is a period of 100 years. Now let's move on to number 8. I want to know what happened Hazim last night. To, under, in, or at. Yes, what happened to Hazim last night. Now let's move on to number 9. My brother works in a big that organizes holidays. Fort, castle, palace, or company. I want you to focus on this sentence because we have two words that they are equal to each other. Fort and the castle, they are both made to protect the town or the city. So my brother works in a big company that organizes holidays. Muhammad Ali was of Egypt in the past. He was the most important person. So ruler, baker, and waiter. So Muhammad Ali was the ruler of Egypt in the past, and it's A. Now let's move on. Those exercises are about the grammar. So the telephone rang while Tamer doing his homework. So Tamer is a singular noun and it will take, yes, was. The telephone rang while Tamer was doing his homework. Sana heard the noise. She was watching a film. So we have a word here that equals to while, and it is, yes, as. Sana heard the noise as she was watching a film. Now number 3, we were playing tennis when Tamer his ankle. So hurt was hurting is hurting. And the answer is going to be, take your 3 seconds. And yes, you have a good guess. We were playing tennis when Tamer hurt his ankle. Number 4, someone opened the door while... Yes, someone opened the door while I was sleeping. Number 5, while I was looking out of the window, it... Yes, started to rain. Now number 6, for tomorrow's game, I fell down and hurt my leg. So, as I was practicing for tomorrow's game, I fell down and hurt my leg. Now number 7, when I was younger, I ate pizza almost every day. Yes, when I was younger, I ate pizza almost every day. The boys didn't play because it, yes, was raining. What? At 10 p.m. last night. This is an exact time in the past. So, what were they doing? Number 1, they have tea when the doorbell rang. So, they were having tea when the doorbell rang. Now, number 2, when he arrives, we were having dinner. So, when he arrived, we were having dinner. Number 3, I was sweeping the floor when I heard a noise. Number 4, they forgot their books yesterday. And thank you for being with us. And again, thank you for watching this video.